What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks so much for being here. Hope your week's off to a good start. Let's look at the astrology. Today, we are going to start that dark moon phase in Scorpio. That moon in Libras within that 30-degree mark to the sun. And not gonna lie, since I've been doing this, the dark moon in Scorpio tends to be the creepiest of the dark moons. It's almost on eclipse level. We're coming out of, remember the last new moon was a solar eclipse with the south node, so kind of some creepy crawly stuff here. We're trying to see a lot of beauty, find balance, but that moon's kind of tucked with the south node and with Black Moon Lilith and Libra, and I don't know. There's a lot of kind of aggro energy, especially because we're in a degree away from Mars opposite Pluto. So that's just like one more ratchet click towards that, which is, fueling a lot of passion and a lot of desire. And this can be great when you're like channeling it into really constructive things and following your emotional authority and, making things happen. But it's also very tense and can be hard to relate to other people. And I think that that's where, this Tuesday is kind of like, ooh, could be a little hard to relate. Mars is starting to peel off the trine to Neptune, so that kind of could take some rose-colored glasses off. Venus is coming off the square to Saturn, but we do have this. It's like a Ceci quadrant triangle, really, to Mars from Saturn and Venus. So really interesting kind of angles. We also have Venus in a semi-square, 45 degrees with Pluto. So just the really weird energy kind of coming into this. And I think this is where it's like if you've been over compromised or over compromising for others and you haven't really been following your heart's desires or your passions or what you really want to do, you could definitely maybe see some type of resentment build and kind of show and maybe feel some of that, like your power being taken or has been taken. I think that's where this Scorpio season now too you could start to see it in other people and maybe just your own feelings towards other people of like manipulation or deception, or even in yourself, if you've been doing that and like this could be like an aha of like, oh wow, starting to see Mercury oppose Uranus today and talk about like some like revelations. There could definitely be some revelations showing up in our life, and it's electric and it can be extremely insightful and kind of liberating, but it's also kind of pulling at a lot of, it could be pulling at fears, it could be pulling at attachments, and Uranus ultimately is trying to detach our mind and kind of get it right. And I would say that today is a really good day to try our best to find balance in life, but we can't overcompromise for it. And I think you'll realize you have to put your attention and your focus into yourself, but you'll know too like when the connection's there and how to go deeper and merge with the right energies around you. But yeah, it's volatile. I think that's the best way to put it is it's just a high volatility and things can kind of spin out of control and you can feel kind of mentally taxed or just emotionally like unsure, kind of weighing things out a lot today. We are going to come into a dark moon for the second half of the day, so it is kind of like we need to find some kind of a chill energy, and that's where really like the beauty and the balance will be found. But I feel like there's a lot of like stimulation going on, and especially dealing with our relationships in life, heavily focused on personal relationships, but family too, with Mars in Cancer, and different relationships to different obligations and society as well. It's yeah, it's kind of there's a little creepy crawly energy, but you know what? It's spooky season. We're just a couple days away from Halloween, right? So I guess it depends on how much you like sort of going into the spookiness. This could feel kind of like a psychological thriller, if you will, in our lives, and trying to understand the psychology of others can be very difficult right now. It can be hard to kind of get into where somebody else is at, but there might be a deep desire to kind of know and feel like, you could make it better. Like I could bring the balance, but we're kind of on our own to bring that balance and that liberation back into our lives and be able to ground in that. And we're all kind of on that level. So don't feel like you have to totally understand where someone's at right now. Just try your best to understand where you're at. And I think that'll be helpful. But even, Mercury's in that semi square to the moon and south node, Ceci quadrant, the north node, and these crazy angles to Uranus. It's just happening. So, yeah, I wish this one's a hard one to crack because it's very stimulating. There's a lot of passion and depth built into it. There's a lot of transformation that we can go through. There's a lot of ahas. The downloads are there. But it's also like we're trying to break out. And I think I think a good way to look at it is like the resentment's a funny thing. And we can resent ourselves, we can resent other people, and people can resent you, whatever. Like it goes that way, but this is almost like feeling like that kind of a volcanic eruption of resentment where like you let things go, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, until eventually you can't take it anymore. And today has that energy of like I just can't take it anymore. And the best thing to do is to be honest, right? To bring it out, to have the conversations. They might be shocking ones. They might be, a little harsh. They might feel that way, but you got to trust your gut and follow your own conscience on the matter today and make sure that you're doing all right, cuz even Venus, if I clear this chart up a little bit, we're going to start seeing Venus oppose Sagittarius, not Sagittarius, Venus opposed Jupiter. And of course, Venus is disposited by that Jupiter in retrograde down there in Gemini. And I don't know. This one's interesting because it's like a little is a lot, So it's like little things can really like build up right now. Build up and build up and build up. And then we can overdo it on that. So we want to be sort of careful with our own truth and then like be able to bring it out. And sometimes Scorpio season, it's harder to bring some of that stuff out. Sometimes we want to keep some things to ourselves, but I think the more open and vulnerable we can be with how we're feeling inside, the better it's going to be, because clamming up can also be very unliberating in a sense that you're just kind of trapping yourself. So volatile Tuesday, Mars Day, a little aggressive, if you will. Could be very aggressive, but it really depends. I mean, this is where you can feel like you're kind of getting everything that you've worked for and almost unsatiable. Like there's no like it's almost like even if you're getting everything, it almost feels like you're not. It's weird. Kind of a weird week leading up to Halloween. Very interesting new moon coming. So, wish you guys all the best. I hope everybody's doing well. Card for the day is the Page of Pentacles upright. Yeah, I mean, I thought that the communication was a big deal and kind of being able to express like where you're at and how you're feeling and what's going on and where you're at in life. It's important. I think that it's kind of about that message, being able to delineate what's going on with your values, with where you want to go in life right now, with your passions. Being able to put it into a package that's, digestible, for other people to understand and hopefully like in a way that isn't too like on the attack, but in a more like youthful, playful, energy as well too. That could be, helpful. But trying to keep things buried and trying to let the emotional volatility get you down. Try and ground out by doing something you enjoy today. Get into your passions, especially like physical passions. I feel like with this like Pentacles card, it's like getting back to something physical today to kind of like ground the emotion, to ground the mental, get back into your body a little bit. Might be all you need to kind of find the confidence to say or express or even just understand, something powerful and innovative for yourself, your relationships, your goals, what you want to go after in life. I love you all. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace.